Welcome to the Missing Workflow. I'm Sheri Yates with Bridge RM. We've talked about the workflow gap in servicing, and we've shown you what a workflow solution looks like with First Legal Watch. Today, I want to go wider. I want to talk about the other areas in your servicing operation that are begging for better workflow management, and you might not even realize it because you've been living with the workarounds for so long. Let's start with lost drafts. If you've managed lost drafts, you know what I'm talking about. A borrower has property damage, storm, fire, whatever, insurance issues a check. That check comes to you, the servicer, and now you've got to manage the process of inspecting the property, approving contractor draws, dispersing funds in stages, making sure the work gets done properly. This process is almost entirely outside your servicing system. The system might have a code that says there's an active insurance claim, but the actual workflow, tracking inspections, managing draw requests, monitoring completion percentages, escalating when something stalls, and that's all manual. It's spreadsheets, it's shared folders, it's emails, and the borrower is waiting. They're living in a damaged house and they want their insurance money dispersed so the repairs can happen. When the process drags out because something got lost in a spreadsheet, that's a borrower experience problem and a complaint risk. Now imagine a workflow solution for this. Every lost draft is tracked from claim receipt to final disbursement. Inspections are scheduled and monitored. Draw requests are queued for approval with all the documentation attached. Stalled cases get automatically escalated. Management sees a dashboard showing how many active lost drafts you have, where they are in the process, and which ones need attention. That's the kind of workflow we build. Takes something that's chaotic and manual and makes it systematic and visible. Default reporting is another area where the workflow gap is real. Your investors want to see specific metrics on your default management performance. Regulators want compliance data. Your own leadership wants to understand how the team is performing. Getting those reports together, that's a project. You're pulling data from your servicing system, maybe from multiple systems. You're manipulating it in Excel. You're cross-referencing different data sources. You're formatting it for different recipients, and you're doing this on a cycle, monthly, quarterly, with tight deadlines. How much time does your team spend on this? I've talked to shops where default reporting takes a full-time person or more just to assemble and validate the data. And because it's manual, there's always the risk of errors. A formula breaks, a filter is wrong, a data extract pulls the wrong date range. Those errors can undermine your credibility with investors and regulators. A workflow solution automates the heavy lifting. Data extraction is systematic and validated. Reports are assembled based on predefined templates and rules. Exceptions are flagged for review. What used to take days takes hours or minutes. And because it's automated, it's consistent and auditable. If you're a Ginnie Mae servicer, you know about tier ranking system scores. Your TRS score reflects how well you're managing your default portfolio, and it directly affects your standing with Ginnie Mae. A poor score can lead to increased scrutiny, additional reporting requirements, and in severe cases, consequences for your issuer status. The challenge? The actions that drive your TRS score, timely loss mitigation evaluations, timely foreclosure actions, timely claim filing, are all workflow dependent. Your servicing system has the data, but it's not managing the workflow that ensures timely completion of each step. If you're struggling with your TRS score, it's probably not because your team doesn't know what to do. It's because the workflow infrastructure to ensure every step happens on time across every loan isn't there. They're managing it manually, and at scale, manual management produces inconsistent results. But here's the thing. These are just examples. The workflow gap shows up everywhere in servicing: bankruptcy management, REO management, escrow analysis oversight, vendor management, quality control processes. Any area where there are multi-step processes, critical deadlines, regulatory requirements, and the need for management oversight, that's an area where a workflow solution adds value. And that's what gets me excited about what we're doing at Bridge RM. We're not a software company that built one product and that's all we do. We're a team that understands mortgage servicing, and we build workflow solutions that fit the specific challenges you're dealing with. Here's what I want you to do after listening to this episode. Walk around your servicing operation, figuratively or literally, and look for the spreadsheets. Look for the manual trackers. Look for the processes that depend on someone remembering to do something. Those are your workflow gaps, and every one of them is an opportunity for improvement. Bridge RM builds workflow solutions for mortgage servicing, whether it's loss drafts, default reporting, TRS management, first legal deadlines, or something we haven't even discussed yet. If you're struggling with it, we want to hear about it. Visit bridgerm.com. Let's start a conversation. I'm Sheri Yates. Thanks for listening to The Missing Workflow.